Hey everyone, welcome back to Turnaround Coach. And this week we're going to be talking about something that I always find to be super important when doing your turnarounds or transforming your organization. And, I say that every week, right? I am seriously realizing that I think every component of this is important. And I think that that's because turnarounds and transformations are pretty challenging if you really think about it. You're taking something that has been going along a journey, right? Along a path, and has gotten to a place, to be very direct, where it's just stuck, or it's just stagnant, or unfortunately is not performing the way you want it to perform. And comfortable, whether it's a good comfortable or a bad comfortable is hard to change. It's so funny. I was at a conference all weekend, and so many times I said to someone sitting there with me, we just got to learn how to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. And I say that to my daughter, and I say that to my networks, and I say that to my business partners, and I say that to myself, that it's just so important to do that. I've referenced this before. I don't know if it's been on here, but the woman's Duke basketball coach has a YouTube out. It's profound. So just Google Duke women's basketball coach on your YouTube, or search it on your YouTube, and you'll see this. But she says we have to learn how to do hard better, because life is hard. Running an organization is hard. Change is hard. And it doesn't get easier. We just learn how to do hard better, which means we get comfortable with the uncomfortable. So having said that, all of these strategies are so important. But this one, I think this week is pretty phenomenal. So let's talk about this, right? We've been going through so many different things when we talk about transformation. I really find that it's three big areas that we have to focus on. I've shared this with you before: leadership, systems and processes, and climate and culture. And if you don't have a roadmap for how you're going to change, how you're going to improve, how you're going to streamline things to make everything better, to make things grow, then you're going to just be like driving around in the dark, right? With a blindfold on. Put a blindfold on, get behind the wheel of your car, and just go drive, because that's basically what you're doing. And so doing that deep dive analysis and really figuring out what needs to be changed or adjusted, making a plan for that, that's your roadmap, and then executing that plan, following the map, really is the only way you're going to be able to get here. You can't just leave it to chance. And one of the things that's super important, and I have to tell you, I learned this most of the time. I learned this because I had to experience it myself, right? Learn the hard way, so to speak. But I learned that, number one, you got to have a vision for what you want your organization to look like. You have to have a dream, right? You have to have a vision in your head, what you believe it can look like. Now, you're in this position listening to me today because that's why you got into this. If you're a business owner, or if you're the leader of somebody else's organization, you chose to step into this role. You chose to take on this challenge because somewhere you believed what could be. You can see it in your mind. You can feel it in your heart. You know that you have some strategies and skills that can take you to that next level. You're a big dreamer, right? So you've got this vision in your head. But here's the thing: nobody can read your mind. You have to develop a vision that you can communicate. Most of the time, it's best when you write it out. And at first, when you first go into it, you're going to have your own vision written out for yourself. But when you start working with your organization and you start moving people in the direction that you want them to go, or you want to move them in your direction of making this impact, you've got to involve them, right? So this is where you take your people, your strong people, your leadership teams, your right hands, your left hands, the people that are going to help you make this all happen. If you're a small business and you only have 5 employees, it might be all 5 of you, right? whatever it is, you're going to select those people, and then you're going to share what you vision in your mind, and you're going to develop a vision for the organization. Let me tell you how I did this. What I did is the first year at each of my schools, I did not go in and make too big of changes. I picked the 1 or 2 big ticket items, we've talked about that before, to change. But what I did do, because I was always following someone, is there was already a vision for that school in place, a mission, a vision, and belief system, right? So I would use that in what I was doing. For example, if our vision is to create an atmosphere where all children can learn, then sure, that was already in place. Let's just use this for now. How do we develop our plan? This is what's happening that aligns with that vision. As we started to go through the work, I allowed things to happen to where, and I say that with the word allowed because you're in control, right? You are the one that drives this transformation. I allowed things to happen to where my employees, my important people, my leadership team could see the vision wasn't aligned with what we were trying to aspire to. We were more than that simplistic vision, because that's basically what it was. Somebody just probably put some words down on paper. So then that's where I could bring this in and I could say, look, this is what we got right now. What do we think about it? This is the work we're doing. Does it align? And every one of the times, 100% of the time, my leadership team said, no, it doesn't. And then that's when I said, okay, so what work do we need to do? Do we need to change our plans to align with this vision, because this is the vision we want to follow? Or do we need to change the vision to align with what we're aspiring to? And every time it was about changing the vision. And that's where we did the hard work. Okay, what do we want it to say? And we did it as a collective team. Now, when I come in and work with organizations, I'll guide you through doing that when the time is right. The time might be right the first day. The time might not be right the first day. Okay. Every organization is going to have its own personality, and we have to determine the plan based on the organization's needs. But once you get that new vision, you need to be able to make sure it's a positive vision. It fits, it's aligned with everything you're doing, and you're communicating it. When you're talking to your customers, when you're talking to your employees, when you're talking to your networks, your communities, when you're talking, for example, I'm going to what we call our Chamber of Commerce meeting tomorrow. My vision needs to be communicated out to these people, because these are people in my community that may need my services or may know somebody that needs my services, and they need to know what my vision is. Communicating it to the employees. I kept it on our weekly newsletter every single week so that they could always see it. They had a visual, they had a laminated cardstock poster of this in their classrooms. And I asked them to post it by where their workstations were so they could reference it at any time. Did everybody do it? No. I'm a realist. Did everybody that did it do successful work in my organization? Yes. The people that got on board with it, the people that kept it at the forefront of their mind, and the people that ran with it and wanted to really see that that was the vision we were going to attain to, they were the ones that were most successful. I promise. Your why, your purpose, what you dream and believe up here that your organization will be. It's important to have that in a way that can be communicated out, and that it becomes the culture of your organization, right? It becomes, this is what we do here. And then we work on, this is how we do it. All right, guys, this is a short episode this week, but just to recap, as we're heading out and going through the last few weeks of the calendar year, I wanted to get that out to you, because if you've not taken time to sit down and get your vision up here in your head out to a place where it can be communicated regularly to all the people that are involved in your organization, then it's time. It's time to do that. So keep in mind, take what you see, what you believe that aligns with what the work you're doing, you get it out. Invest in your people, let them help you to get it beautiful, so that it's not just your vision, it's your team's vision, your organization's vision, and then put it in front of everybody. Make sure people know this is what we do here, and then you can show them how you do it. All right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope that you are able to take these little pieces and really run with them with your organization. However, if you do need some additional help, that's what I do. I'm excited. Just got another project today, another client. Just makes my heart happy, makes me just come alive, and makes me know that the work that we do, even though it's hard, as I mentioned at the beginning of today's little segment, it's worth it. It really is. And to know that it affects people and it has an impact on the world, that's what it's all about. All right, guys, I'll see you next week right back here on Turnaround Coach.